morning to you from Chico. It is pre-dawn here on the 10th of February 2025. We have a new series ahead on what used to be called the black hole. I am a professional naming expert. A scientific name is very important. Probably the worst of all the names is natural selection because there's no such thing, and so it's not natural, and there is no selection, so it's really unnatural selectiveness, which doesn't exist. That was disproved in the discovery of the locked code called semiotic DNA. So the scientists are currently working on it with every ounce of fantasy and mythologizing and just sheer lying that they can. But then we have the Big Bang, which you may know the story of how Fred Hoyle invented that term, and then it was debated for decades whether Fred Hoyle meant that pejoratively or not, when it was clear and obvious that he meant it as a joke. But then it was adopted as the very best term for that myth. So we have natural selection and we have Big Bang. We have one more that is a contender for the very worst name of all time, and that, of course, is the black hole. Both of these words taken separately are entirely inappropriate in science. Black has no meaning, and hole has no meaning. Now, there are Latin terms, that is, Latin words for both of those, and so it's time we switch to Latin, because black hole is simply offensive. It should be disallowed. I mean, there's a great deal of control on the words that humans are allowed to use now because of the ascendancy of Big Brother and Skynet. You're not allowed to use a word that, is from American history, but it really goes back to the English, where when they encountered Africans and looked upon them as a resource for slavery, it was necessary to degrade them as humans in order to adapt to what they had to do, which was probably the worst crime. Although there's a list of crimes that humans commit every day. They're so foul and horrendous, we should have no words for them. But there was a word that was developed, and you've heard it, and I agree that you should not say this word. It's Nigger. However, in Latin, Nigo is the word for black. And there is also a word for whole. So shouldn't we just change the name? Well, I've taken it upon myself, since nobody else is wise or brave enough to do this, but it has to be done. We simply cannot tolerate this name. It's completely misleading. It's an anti-scientific term, and it is offensive to human nature. So I'm adjusting the reflection of my glasses, which I'm really enjoying here. You don't want to see my eyes at pre-dawn. I don't want to see them. So we have a new term, and first we're going to just turn something on here so we can take a look at what Wikipedia suggests, which I think is brilliant. And I hope you agree. Foramen is the word for whole. This cat has just eaten the equivalent of 20 pounds of turkey by weight. And let's get a look at the cat, who should be fatter than a rugby ball by now, but she still is beautiful. Look at that beautiful creature. I just think she is the most gorgeous. She's sitting basically right against the keyboard and partially blocking the screen because she would like another 20 pounds of turkey. Look at her. She is so beautiful. I just think that she is the most marvelous cat. This is the chocolate cat. Okay. So now we've had our human moment here, so we don't have to worry about these foul words we're dealing with. Black and whole. My God. I mean, what has happened to science? I'll do my best here to fix it, because black hole, but the Latin word for hole is foramen. What is black in Latin? Nigrum. Well, that's not a foul word. I mean, nig, you could say, no, we don't want to, listen, we can't just be paranoid and deny our rights to use language. Anybody understand anymore what we're actually doing in science? I don't know. I don't want to get this way. These are words that are used. That's perinigriconicity. That's the closest point in an orbit to the black hole. And then apenigricon. So I really think this is far better. And so I offer something I think is a good replacement because we have to get rid of that goddamned term. It's just a shitty, fucked up. In science, we don't use foul language, god damn it. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm just sick of it. I'm sorry, but I'm sick to death of this shit. We can't be saying black hole all the time. It's just an offensive. It's obvious that I don't like this term, and I have a right to change it. I have a duty to change it. So an apenigriconically oriented dog would be at its farthest point from the black hole in the canine orbit around the thing. This bizarre adverb, using extended humor, gives rise to a fortuitous name for the misnamed, mischaracterized black hole, which is not only juvenile, but is also rude and nasty. Thus we obtain a rare golden opportunity. I changed the word golden because it's overused. Thus we obtain a rare platinum opportunity to change a stupid term to a better term. That is an acceptable term. The stupid term we know, and we need to change it to nigricon, which would be a much better name, but that leaves out the hole, which is a distinct improvement. And we don't want to say nig hole or perhaps nigo because it still sounds rude. So I think we have the answer. We have the combination nigo, which is okay, although some might wince, I understand, but we have to grow up sometimes. I mean, the age of slavery is, well, I'll just say, we just assume that it's over. I don't think it is. I think it's worse than ever. Look at the universities packed with innocent students just staring at calculus bullshit all day to destroy their minds. I favor the complexification form nigo, thus enabling the use of the Latin foramen for whole, and then we obtain nigamen. And I think that's the right replacement word. So I'm just going to emphasize here, once and for all, we have a new term. I'm not even going to say the old term, because it's so horrifyingly offensive. Now we have nigamen. So thank you for tuning in. This is our introduction to a series on the Quasae Singularity. And I will be attempting to use this term nigamen exclusively so that we can get away from the truly offensive, truly anti-scientific, demoralizing, horrifyingly illogical term black hole. The black hole has been renamed the Quasae Singularity, or you could even say, I believe this is even better, here we go, Nigolarity. And I think that does it. Don't you think so? Stay tuned, keep looking up. That's where you're going to get your real answers, is by looking up at the night sky and studying the motions of the heavens so that you can realize that there is space and there is motion. Now that doesn't account for energy though, so the true balance of the forces in the universe has to do with a clear perception that space and energy are conjugal. Geometrically, that means they're orthogonal. I've proved that. So stay tuned in order to get real science only here at Anagalactic. And I hope you enjoyed my dark glasses that are hiding my roomy pre-dawn eyes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with a full series exploring the macroscale objects of astronomy, beginning at the most important object ever discovered, the Nigolarity. We'll discuss it mathematically, geometrically, and physically to show that your astrophysics community is raping you to death. I'm the solution to that. I will rescue from your horrifying position of being dragged into the black hole of the satanic human mind. These are your mathematicians who were bred to deceive you. I'm heaven's answer to that bullshit. I'm so sick and tired of foul language. These assholes inundating us with these monstrous terms. So stay tuned to Anagalactic to get the truth. We'll be right back. We'll go right into the heart of the singularity that has destroyed physics, and will fully explicate the genuine method of getting out of the trap so that you get the solutions that you have to solve the problems in your moral dilemma on Earth, to save your soul. Stay tuned.